Nope. Yep.
Still good?
Yeah.
Just need to bring the whole thing over, basically the whole car.
Oh, right, get it under.
Hold that.
Hold it.
Oh,
Back the other way, Matt. Okay. A little bit more. All right, you gotta bring it back into it.
Hey guys, Matt, IronTrap Garage, and we are finally going to start working on the 39 Mercury that we saved out of New Jersey in a little garage where it was sitting for many years. As you guys may remember, when I started working on this car, I was very optimistic. I'm like, it was well maintained, it was fairly dry where we put it, and yeah, we should be able to get this thing to turn over. Well, after me nearly tearing the engine all the way apart, it was still stuck, and it was obvious that it was going to need more work than I was hoping for, and we needed to do something about the engine. So in a previous video, we grabbed a Flathead out of the stash and we hopped it up, and we have something that is ready to pretty much just drop in, and we started and ran on our run stand, and we're going to pull this one out. So in today's video, we're going to work on is get this old engine out of the car, get the new to the car engine in the car, and hopefully we'll get this thing in and maybe get it to fire in the car for the first time in a very long time. First things first though, we got to pull the hood and the radiator and a couple more parts that I didn't pull yet, and then we can start pulling the engine block out. We're going to lose points on our restoration.
I know.
that's why I'm saving it. We'll just tack it back together.
Yeah, there you go. You can work on your wire welding. You can weld wire back together. Really?
Hey, you gotta save that. You can give that to your kids.
Ooh.
All one piece.
How many people could say they held original 39 Mercury
I know.
hood safety wire?
I know. It's crazy.
This bolt's like loose.
There you go.
Actually, yours should come off now. We just wiggle it.
Yeah, it's probably stuck. Oh, there it goes.
Let's go.
All right.
Walk backwards.
Oh yeah, I want a screwdriver. That's too freaking gross for me.
Too gross. Should I get you gloves?
Oh my God.
Hold on, I'll get you a poker.
There's something solid in there too. It's pretty soft and sludgy at the bottom, but I can't stick my finger all the way through it. Oh, and that is antifreeze dripping out the bottom. I've sped up the leaking.
Wow.
Oh, sped up the leaking antifreeze a little bit. There, yeah, there is.
Something. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What is that chunk that's in there?
Yeah, chunks. I don't know.
Is it a piece of a bearing?
I don't. It's covering the whole hole. I don't know what it is, but I can't wait to pull the oil pan off of this thing. I'm just prying up against it now.
Wow. Well, don't wreck the oil pan threads.
No, I'm not prying. I'm not prying hard. It's not.
Oh, there went a chunk of
Yep.
something. Unless it's frozen.
Oh, it might be ice. Yeah, with all that water in there, that could be a chunk of ice. You're right. Ugh.
To find out, you get the.
That is a lot of water there.
That does not just seem like.
That's not from the heads, because that's straight water.
Yeah.
That's looking
Maybe
like,
there's a reason why this engine wouldn't turn over for me no matter what I did.
I'm fairly certain it's because it's rusted tight.
Yeah.
That's a lot of water too.
Wow. I wonder if this block is cracked and it was just fucking leaking water.
Right, yeah.
Hard to say, but that is straight.
Do we have another bucket to switch over to?
We might need one, you're right. We might need one. We're good at the moment.
You sure? Because I mean, that's just water. You haven't got any oil.
There may not be any oil.
No.
Oh, we're getting some oil now. I see a little bit of sludge coming out with it. It's slowing down. Oh yeah, here we got to the oil. But that was easily 3 quarts of water.
Okay. Well, maybe we should dump 3 quarts of water in a jug.
Oh, wait.
Yeah, let's do that before.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty much straight water, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see what round 2 brings us here.
Well, it's definitely been cold enough to freeze.
Yeah.
Which is not good for this bottom end of this engine.
Nope.
This is definitely one I'd probably want to get magnafluxed. Ooh, we might have struck gold.
Yep, got a little bit of oil coming out now.
All right, so after draining some ice and some water, definitely not looking good for this engine. I'm kind of glad I stopped wasting time on it when I did before I decided to pull the engine. So we're gonna get ready to pull the engine now. Steve got pretty much all the hardware out. I have this is a reproduction, but K.R. Wilson originally made this. It is a very, very good tool if you're pulling flathead engines out regularly. This one requires no actual tools or wrenches or anything, so if you're ever picking up an engine somewhere, this is good to get even a reproduction. We found the reproduction in one of our collections we bought out, and the nice thing is you put this in sideways in the valley, you turn it, it goes underneath of the valley there, and then you drop these in where the heat riser holes are to locate it. So we're going to use this since the intake's already off. It's very quick and simple. We may not use this on the let's pull your pin up there, on our other engine, just because it's already got the intake gasketed and everything. Oh. Push down. There we go. Cool. So we can hook our chain up to it and see if we forgot any bolts.
Right.
Oh, wrong way, right?
Got a pretty good sheen on it now.
All right, we're above here, so we could.
Hang on. There you go.
All right, free.
It's got to come forward a little more.
Yeah, let me
Not
just-
all the way out.
Now we're up and up.
Hey, hang on a second. The exhaust manifold stuck.
There we go.
Is the exhaust manifold clear on that side, Jason?
Yeah.
We'll let Steve get clear first, and then we have a lot of room over here for the most part. Want me to pull the engine forward?
No, I got to get the intake manifold a little forward or a little. Are you good on that side?
Yeah.
If you're good on that side, we can just go up with it then, I think, and just work it over that way to get it around.
We're almost clear of the firewall.
Yeah, oh, nice. Yep, there we go. We're getting it. There we go. Now we're good.
Just about.
Now. Yep. Didn't even get it dirty.
We have a cart somewhere. All right, so success. Got the old engine out. I noticed when we pulled this out, there was a lot of clutch material in this flywheel, like a lot. And so that's not good. It might even have the original clutch in it, who knows. But everything else looks pretty good. We were trying to leave the stock exhaust on, just for now, so we could slide the engine in, take it around the block, and be a little less obnoxious. But the pipe is like the crossover pipe's super pitted. Just from us wiggling it, it broke there. So we're just going to cut the exhaust because it's pitted pretty much all the way back. But there is a brand new muffler on it, which is kind of odd. So we're going to take the whole exhaust off. We're going to have to do a full exhaust system on this thing, even to really even take any major test drives, which I was hoping to avoid for at least a first month or something. So that we'll take those out. That should make the engine go back in much easier. Otherwise, it's not really rusty in here. It's just dirty, a lot like when we were dealing with Beautiful, where it's just like cleaning up grease and dirt and rust. So we're gonna work on getting all that cleaned up and throw some new parts on here and there, and then we'll be ready to slide our known running engine in. Sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I do not have.
There we go. Eat.
Leaking at you.
Yeah, now the rest of the exhaust, the rest of the
Dude, we might
antifreeze
need
is coming
to
out the
calm down a
exhaust.
little bit. It's a little noisy.
Yeah, it's a little noisy. Like the HVAC guys are having trouble working over here.
Oh, it's just down the fingers.
Yeah.
The girl in the panties wet.
Yeah, if this doesn't work out, we'll definitely have a firewood stove installation business. There's no way that Steve and I would have gotten the engine done.
No.
And
No, heck no. Go.
did it burn okay?
Yeah. That didn't sound good.
No, it's that one I was wondering about from the beginning.
Uh-oh.
It's not look good. Is it gonna cause a problem or leave it out? Maybe take the one off, right?
Start moving. Gentle, gentle.
There you
Cleared
go.
Oh, never mind, it's not in the way. It's a screwdriver. Never mind. More? Probably start lowering it down there.
Go ahead.
Down?
Yep, you can go down.
That's okay, I just trying really hard to keep the chain off the fender.
Fortunately.
Keep your eye on that distributor, that's the...
That's one of the big dollar items.
I saw that.
Hold on, can we just, give me 1 second?
Hold on.
Okay, there we go. I was getting the choke, or whatever, throttle cable. Alright. Alright, hold on, I'm probably gonna have to lay under there now.
You want me to hop under? You good?
I'm good. I'm not that much of a deep.
You try jacking the trans up again a little bit?
Here, because we can get it to give it a wiggle and a push.
The engine?
Yeah, now something's not.
No.
Without level or something.
It looks like the front of the engine's too high.
Yeah, let me try jacking on the trans a little. coming down. All right, so we got the engine in, got the car set back down. We got like our sketchy gas tank here just to try and fire this thing. We know the gas tank's gonna be filled with sludge, so we're not even gonna go down that route. So we ended up making up a bracket here for this cool vintage coil that we have. That's 6 volt. This car is still 6 volt. It's probably gonna stay 6 volt because it's so original, and not much has been changed power wise. So we have all that stuff pretty much set up. The fuel pump set up. We had to end up clocking the fuel pump here. The nice thing about these pumps with the glass bowl on them is that you can actually clock them and rotate them away, or front and back. So we had to rotate it 1 screw hole away from the firewall. Ended up working out really good. We just rebent the fuel lines a little bit and the hard line, and it worked out really nice. The other thing we just got these in the mail. We got these really cool, flexible, like new old stock spark plug boots that are red, of course. And we're gonna throw these on after we get the fire and run. We're gonna throw these on, but cool little mail day. Yes, the blue belt is going to go away eventually, but it's a good temporary belt. So yeah, now we have all this stuff set up. We're just about ready to try and fire it in the car. It should run as long as that coil works out for us. We have all the other electronics in the car disconnected because the harness is almost, if not as bad as Beautiful's harness. There's a lot of bare wires and stuff that were in the engine bay. So we just disconnected all that. We strictly just have the engine hooked up, and that is it. We're gonna jump, instead of using the ignition switch, we're gonna jump right to the starter solenoid. Hopefully that solenoid still is alive, and we'll see what happens. So I'm gonna try and make some noise with this thing. All right, so we were getting spark when I usually first start an engine. So the only thing we've changed in this car since we had it on the run stand is it's now 6 volt again. And we put this old Echelon or Echelon, I don't know how you say it exactly, but coil on here. And it has this little cap that sits like this. And there is a light bulb underneath. We think possibly that this is a form of a ballast resistor that kind of takes a little bit of a draw to drop the voltage a little bit when it's coming in, possibly. But we were getting a spark when I'm first starting a car. Usually when I touch the ignition wire to here, you connect it if you're just jumping it, you'll see a little tiny spark telling you that kind of the ignition system is energized, if you will, for lack of a better term. And after a couple of times of that, we weren't getting the spark, and then we weren't getting spark at all to the spark plug. Pulled this cap off, and sure enough, this little bulb, it blew. You can see that. So what's cool is it's got this, I guess this was probably a selling feature, but when you touch this, it actually lights the bulb up. So that is how you can tell if your coil has power or is energized. So that's pretty neat. So if you have one of these, that's something that we just learned. So hopefully now we'll get some spark. Actually, we can just leave this off. So it turns out that that coil was not working for us. So we're going to go to a normal coil for now until we can diagnose that issue. And we got our janky wires hooked up here for ignition. For now, got my janky starter cable. This is necessary things you got to do on a first start. I feel like it's just how kind of what happens. Yeah. right, so we got the thing to fire off and run there for a few seconds. Obviously, we don't have the coin system hooked up, so we had to, we shut it down after it ran. But we wanted to make sure that with the 6-volt system, we got it to fire. That cool little coil that we had didn't seem to be working. It blew the light bulbs twice. I don't know what was going on with that. So, again, it's one of those like vintage parts that were sitting on a shelf I found somewhere picking or bought at a swap meet, and no background on it. So there is a good chance it was taken off the car because it was having a problem. We don't know. Once we get this thing like together and running better, it's pretty easy to just like swap a coil on real quick, and if the thing doesn't fire after it fired up really fast before, then we know there's an issue. So we're probably, luckily that bracket that I made for that, we can pretty much use any coil on it, so we can just put a standard coil on there and run it like we just did. This is the one off our run stand, and it fired up and ran just fine. So we have some more tweaking to do with different stuff. I made a throttle rod here to come from the gas pedal. I think it needs just a little bit of adjustment so that with a throttle return spring, we need to go through some of the wiring and stuff so we can actually run it off the ignition switch. We think that the solenoid is bad, so we'll get another solenoid, etc., etc., etc. So we got to get a few more parts on this thing, but again, we like to do those what I call small victories, where we get it in, we got it to fire, we're all happy. We're going to try and end the week on a good note. We have a cool Flathead engine in the 39 Merc. We got it to fire. That's awesome. So hopefully in the next video we can get the everything all cleaned up, get this thing to run, and just move it around the driveway a little bit like we like to do, and then we can bring it in the shop, put it on the lift, and start putting a gas tank, brakes, etc., etc., and get this thing really buttoned up. And obviously get a radiator in it so we can run it more than just a few seconds. So thank you guys for following along. It's been really awesome to make some progress on this Mercury. We've been kicking butt this winter. It's awesome. Thank you guys. Catch you later.